Good day, everyone. Fly fishing can be one of the most enjoying, relaxing sports, but it can also be one of the most aggravating sports. So understanding the basics to fly fishing versus the regular fishing is very important. Understanding weights, tapers, all that are things that you need to know to purchase a system that is made for you. So let's get started looking at the equipment. Fly fishing equipment is broke down into two main categories: taper and weight. We'll start with weight. Weight is not like regular fishing like you think with the casting and all that. It usually starts like a 3 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 9, 9 to 13. All those are the different categories of weight. So the lower number of weight would be the smaller type of fish that you want to catch. Also, the lower number of weight is the lower area needed to cast a fly rod. So a 3 weight be like for your trout or something real small. You don't really need a lot of area to be able to cast. Now, fly line, your second category, is broke down into tapers. And this is where it gets a little bit complicated, because you want to be able to get the right fishing line for what you're going to catch. So what I've got here is something to show you just a little bit of what they're talking about as far as tapers. Now the first line I'll talk about is the weight forward taper. And as you can see, this line gets a little bit wider as it comes to the end. And that extra heft, according to flylinetaper.com, gives you just a little bit extra weight to go into the wind, makes you cast a little bit further. It also helps when you cast to turn the fly over and just let it lay onto the water. Another type is the double taper. And it's just like what it says, it's tapered on both ends. Now this line is what you mostly use for like trout fishing. It's real hard to cast on a windy day and you really don't get a lot of distance, but the smallness of the line up here really helps the presentation for a fish that's real spooky. Now the last kind of line is a level taper, and it's just that. There's no taper whatsoever. And according to flylinetaperexplained.com, this is the hardest line there is to cast. So with that understanding, let's look at the flies. Flies come in many different shapes, sizes, types, and all that. What you mostly see in our area, like you've got here, there's different kinds. These are what you call a dry fly, and it looks like a bug, and it basically will stay on top of the water. To fish this, you want to wiggle it around like you see bugs on top of the water trying to get around. Other fly is a wet fly, and it's basically going to be in the water under the surface, and you want to make it look like a bug that's struggling under the water. Lastly, what's most commonly used is what they call streamers, and streamers are to be like a bait fish, shrimp, bait fish, little brim, and those are real good. And you work those just like you'd see the bait going through the water, and you really get more reaction kind of strikes from these kind of baits. Now something that once you get a little bit more skilled, they're called poppers. And what these are used for is to cause aggravation. If you want to aggravate a bass or whatever, you really want to try to put this up on its bed. Now why it takes a little bit more skill is because you really got to be accurate, because most of the beds are up next to the banks. And lastly, what you'd see is called a nymph. And a nymph is basically used for trout fishing. You can use them for brim. They treat them like a wet fly, but they're really good. Now on your dry flies, if they were to get wet and not stay on top of the water, there's a process called false casting, where you just keep bringing the rod back and forth, and that'll dry the fly off, and then you put it down onto the water. So now that we got a little bit about the equipment and the flies, let's talk about casting. Now I break casting down into 3 simple categories. First thing you want to do when you're casting is to bring out the line that you're going to need to make the cast. So once you got your line out, you want to hold the line that's going through the rod in your other hand, between the index and thumb. And you start bringing it back and forth. You want to stay within the 10 and 2 o'clock range when you're getting your line out. And as you're bringing it back and forth, you can feel the line pulling on your fingers here, and you just let it go out as you're casting. the further it comes out, the slower you go, but you've got to push a little bit harder. You get it going just as easy as you want. You got to remember to pull it hard. Now to cast, to give the fish the fly, basically what you want to do is just lean forward and point the fly rod at what you want to catch. For your streamers, you want to simply just pull it in, work it like the fish coming in, or you can wiggle the tip if you've got a dry fly on top of the water. And once you've got your line back in, start the whole process all over again. So, as you can see, fly fishing is pretty simple, but it's real important to understand the equipment. It's real important to get matched equipment. You don't want to get a 3-weight rod with a 8-weight line. It's just difficult. So in conclusion, now that you got a little understanding of how fly rod and fly equipment work, I hope to see you out there on the water one day, and maybe you can enjoy fly fishing as much as I do.